Sunrise Extra on a Wednesday, a holiday Wednesday. We are celebrating and honoring those veterans here for Veterans Day. We've been getting some great shout outs and photos and short stories from you guys of local folks that we can honor. So as we are going through our show today, feel free to text us a picture and a little blurb about someone that you love and care about that you want to honor today. You see the number in the bottom right of your screen, 503-226-5088.
And we have two very special guests on Sunrise Extra this morning. Johnny Fisher, he is with Do Good Multnomah, and Ovi Muntean with Battle Buddies. Good morning to you both. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Johnny, you were joining us during our newscast, Sunrise Show, but can you tell people who aren't familiar a little bit about your organization, Do Good Multnomah? You're working with homeless veterans.
Certainly. Really, when it comes down to it, we do not believe, and most people believe as well, is that our veterans should not be houseless. They should not be experiencing houselessness at all. And so us as an organization, Do Good, that's part of our job, is to provide the support and the services that they need and that they deserve.
How did you actually get involved with the organization? Can you give us just a little bit about your backstory?
Certainly. I'm 8 years in the Coast Guard. I actually worked in social work before I joined the military, and I worked with the executive director. And after I got done with some active orders, I was looking for some work, and the executive director really wanted more veterans to serve veterans. So we have this amazing group of staff where we have veterans serving veterans. Then we also have the folk that haven't served are just serving those that have served them already.
We're looking at some of the pictures. Sorry, Nina, didn't mean to cut you off. Of those big complexes, apartments, and things that are under construction, and a sketch there. These look like beautiful places.
It is incredibly important to me and the rest of the organization that when we move someone into permanent housing or transitional housing or even our shelters, that we treat our veterans with the dignity and respect they deserve. And it's a lot easier to be able to own something and be proud of it and take care of it if it's nice.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about, the economy obviously has taken major hits now through the pandemic. Homelessness and, finding a job maybe was already hard before this started. Then you combine PTSD and the other issues that a lot of veterans are trying to battle. What's the situation like now? What are you hearing from people? Are more people coming to you for housing services now that, there's a lot fewer jobs and apartments?
Most certainly. We're seeing, and the VA in general also is seeing, an increase of veterans experiencing houselessness that are Vietnam era. And they fall in this strange category where they might not be ready to retire, or they just retired and they just don't have the funds. So we get we have a very large net to be able to help anyone that needs the services, whether that's they need to be hooked up with getting work, whether it's getting their disabilities, whether it's just connecting with the correct organizations to be able to get any sort of services that they might need.
We also want to bring Ovi into the conversation this morning. Northwest Battle Buddies trains dogs to give to veterans who do suffer from PTSD. Can you talk a little bit? Oh, I love the picture that we're seeing. The dogs are just so, cuddled up next to the vets at their feet. Can you tell us about that process of training dogs and the companionship that it provides our veterans?
Absolutely. However, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Do Good Multnomah. What an awesome organization. It's always encouraging to see the hearts of the American people coming together to serve the veterans who served us all. Back to Northwest Battle Buddies. You hear us say it a lot. We serve the veterans who served us all, and we do that by providing professionally trained service dogs and specifically matching them to the veterans depending on their personalities. Those service dogs receive about 360 hours of training before they even meet the veteran. And after they are paired together professionally by Shannon Walker, the CEO of Northwest Battle Buddies, we train them together for 5 weeks. We teach them how to maneuver life with their service dog.
What does that, and you were talking about this in our show, is it confidence of like you and your partner, you know, with the dog, you're going out in public, because you were mentioning, you know, some of these people have just terrible anxiety and don't like to go out into crowds. You know, you may hear a noise that is kind of triggering. What is it about having the dog right at your side? What, you know, emotions does that bring with a person besides confidence?
As you know, the term battle buddy comes from the military, where no soldier is allowed to go anywhere by themselves. They always have a battle buddy with them. Well, when they come home, that doesn't happen anymore. And so the service dog takes the place of that battle buddy. And you mentioned it, interesting that you mentioned it, that's one of the things we hear a lot from the veterans, that the service dog interrupts their attacks and anxiety attacks. A lot. The other most important thing is the service dog wakes them up from nightmares.
Wow.
We hear that a lot. Another thing is the service dog redirects their flashbacks, brings them into the present, when they go to places in their mind, what happened to them in war.
What do they, I mean, are they just kind of using their little head to kind of do the doggy nudge and lick? And I mean, is it just to kind of provide that distraction, I guess, right in the moment?
Yes, they also sense their and alerts the veteran on their adrenaline release. So that's also a very important task the service dog provides to the veteran.
It
also acts as a social barrier in public, as you heard us talk about it before. Veterans in general do not enjoy crowds.
Right.
And so having their service dog with them helps them.
It's just fascinating to me. I mean, animals, dogs especially, have such a keen sense of smell that you can talk about something like adrenaline release and your battle buddy is right there and he totally gets it. I can just imagine, Ovi, people who are going to be watching this, because it'll be up online, not just this morning, but all day long and in the days to come. If there are veterans out there who see this, I'll start with you. How can they get involved with Northwest Battle Buddies? How can they request some help?
It's very, very easy. We have a very simple process. They go to our website, northwestbattlebuddies.org. There's a 3-question application. They have to provide their DD-214 and a letter from their doctor. It can be the VA doctor or their family doctor, that they have been diagnosed with PTSD, and their application goes into line and waiting until we have a class. As a matter of fact, right now we have a class with 10 veterans, the picture that you just saw. And they graduate next Friday, actually. Be their 5th week. Yeah. Maybe you can be there. It'd be awesome to have you there. You'll hear stories directly from the veterans' mouth, what the service dog does for them. You'll get to meet the staff, the trainers, the CEO and founder of Northwest Battle Buddies, Shannon Walker. I'll be there myself. It'd be great to have you.
Johnny, what about you? Can you tell us how veterans who need services can get in touch with Do Good Multnomah? What's the best way?
Easiest way would be hopping over to our website, dogoodmultnomah.org, where it lists our programs that we have, and there's a contact information to be able to give us a call directly. Working with any sort of case manager, reaching out any way. I mean, even if it's through Facebook, we have someone answering questions there all the time that directs people to the services that they're needing.
So we were showing some of the apartments and housing that you guys help get these vets into. I mean, just yesterday and this morning, we've been talking about Mayor Ted Wheeler. His new priority is getting tents off of city streets. And he's floating this idea of creating managed tent campsites that would have, check-in rules and bathrooms and showers and hygiene that are in specific areas for people to safely set up camp there. What's kind of your position? Because we talked to some other homeless advocates who say that's actually kind of, it could be dangerous to their health to, do these so-called sweeps and, move people's belongings and tents to a specified site. Where do you kind of stand on something like that as you kind of, are deep-rooted in this community?
Yeah, with that, it's a very complex issue, and without knowing too much about what's being proposed, I could definitely talk about the trauma of living on the street. There's just this anxiety and trauma that you end up having while living on the street, and while trying to sit down with maybe another friend that you have while you're experiencing houselessness, then just being pushed from one place to another can be very traumatic. So these sweeps, not everyone can and not everyone wants to be in this large group together. So that's why there's a lot of smaller areas, because of past trauma, past experiences, anxiety in large crowds, like you mentioned, or loud noises. So it's very complex. Sure, it'll probably work for some folk, but other folk it probably won't work for.
Can I ask you this? Can we dream a little bit? Because I know it's hard to weigh in on somebody else's plan, but you are speaking with these men and women. If you just could wave the magic wand and say, this is what needs to happen in the metro area, this is what we're lacking, and this is what we need, what would it be?
That one's actually pretty easy for me to answer. So much of the problem is when we find housing, we want to be able to keep them in housing. So more permanent supportive housing, where our veterans are able to get into housing, and there's services that are provided, much like Services Do Good offers, peer support and case management to be able to help them once they're housed and be able to keep them housed. So if I was able to do that, permanent supportive housing and primarily the support that our veterans need and deserve.
Because that gets rid of what anxiety, safety concerns of, if you fall asleep on, in your tent on the sidewalk, someone could come, harm you, steal your belongings. If you're in a house, you can kind of get rid of some of that, and then focus on, going to a job agency, and then you have a shower and you have somewhere to get ready for a job or a job interview, right? I mean, that's kind of sets you up for that first step.
Yeah, most importantly, you have with the supportive services that we're able to provide and other organizations like us can provide, it's the support group. That is what is incredibly important for our veterans experiencing houselessness, or just anyone really experiencing houselessness. It's that support group that is key to be able to move on to better things. And then with permanent supportive housing, like our buildings, you could stay there for the rest of your life if that's what you want. Because not everyone experiencing houselessness is houseless because of work, or because a lot of folk aren't able to, whether they're hurt, they're injured, they're too old, and it's time for our veterans to. They've been fighting for a long time. They've been fighting when they joined. They've been fighting living on the street, and now it's our turn to give them a break, and for us as an organization and us as Portland Metro to pick up the fight.
Yeah, we absolutely have broken that social contract. We've asked these young men and women to go out and fight for our country. They come back injured and they end up on the street. I mean, that is nothing but shameful. And I am absolutely happy to help spread the word and to raise awareness, because there are so many things grabbing our attention these days, but this is one that should be up there in the priority list. A lot of people giving a shout out to Northwest Battle Buddies this morning. Jennifer Taft on our stream, one of our regulars who joins the conversation every morning, says dogs make a huge difference. My buddy in Texas got his service dog, and he's given him purpose and made such a difference in his life, even decreasing his need for heavy medications. It's huge. Ovi, do you see that kind of transformation in some of the people who get these dogs as companions?
Oh, yes, and we hear that directly from our veterans. We have a few of them that came off medication completely. But a lot of them tell us that they reduce their medication from 12 pills a day down to half. And so that's a huge improvement in their life, absolutely.
I saw in a lot of those pictures, it's very cute little golden retrievers and a few labs in there. What is it about that breed of dog that just makes them so perfect? I mean, I was a golden retriever owner as well, and boy, they just want to be by your side. They want your hand on their head. They'll nudge a glass of wine out of you, make you spill all over the carpet. They just want your love. Like, what makes them such a great
Absolutely.
trainable dog in this capacity?
They are a softer breed. Shannon Walker, the CEO and founder of Northwest Battle Buddies, tells us a lot. They're a softer breed, smarter. It seems like anything with blonde hair is smarter. But anyway, no, that's what it is. They're a softer breed, easier to train. They're the average, 70 pound, not too big, not too heavy,
Right.
not too light, and yes.
You can kind of feel them, at your leg.
So,
walking along.
Ovi, you were talking to one of our producers before this interview, and you do have a pretty unique story. You came to America from Romania. Can you talk about the first time that you interacted with American service members and what you remember about that day?
Yes, that story is very emotional to me, but I will try to behave. 1970, I was 5.5 years old, and our town was completely flooded. Many people lost their life. We escaped in the attic of our home, and after the waters receded, we lost everything. So we heard that there's help coming to our town, to our center of the town, so we headed there. And after waiting for a couple of hours, help came in the form of thundering helicopters. 2 helicopters landed, which now I came to learn that they were Hueys, and soldiers got out, and they started unloading supplies, water and food and medicine, blankets, clothes. And one of the soldiers walked up to me. Of course, I was a child, and a lot of people surrounded the square of the town where the helicopters landed, and the soldiers walked up to me and put his hand on my shoulder and spoke to me words I did not understand. To this day, I don't know what he said, but that's the first time I saw on his shoulder the American flag. And to me, that was strange, because in school they teach you ever since kindergarten that Americans are evil and greedy, and it just didn't make sense. Later on, when I was about 13 years old, my father told me that we will be leaving Romania and that we'll be going to America. And so that was my first experience with an American hero.
Wow.
You kind of brought a tear to my eye. That is an amazing story, and I think one that we need to hear right now. It's like, that America does do good.
Oh, absolutely. I don't want to say that anywhere there's natural disasters or conflicts, the American people are the first ones to help.
Yes. We want to thank both of you, Do Good Multnomah and Northwest Battle Buddies, based in Battleground, Washington. We have their websites, Brenda. I know you have them right in front of you, right?
Oh, no, I don't, but they can tell us. Go
okay,
ahead.
yes. Tell us your website one last time, and so people can go and learn more information or donate to the causes. Ovi, you go ahead first.
Sure. Northwest Battle Buddies, Northwest all spelled out, northwestbattlebuddies.org. We just updated our website, and there's a button there if you'd like to help and donate.
Excellent.
And go ahead, Johnny.
Do Good Multnomah is dogoodmultnomah.org. Or if you're interested in joining us Friday for our annual benefit event, that is going to be dogoodbenefit.org.
Excellent. Both of you gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this Veterans Day. We really appreciate it. We love the work that you do. Please keep it up. I know you've gotten a lot of, new audience to both of your causes, so please go there if you'd like to make a donation or help some groups out. So we're going to leave you with a few pictures from our wonderful viewers sharing the vets that they would like to honor on this Wednesday. Thanks for watching Sunrise Extra. We'll see you tomorrow.